Let's settle in on this amazing evening that we have found ourselves together once again. And so as you begin to physically settle in, just take note of the space where you've landed today. Maybe it is the same space that you come to time and time again for your meditation practice and it feels familiar. Maybe you're in a different spot today. But either way, I want you just to kind of take it all in. Feel what's around you. Listen to the sounds. And so that as you close your eyes, you can begin to draw your attention inward. And when we're able to do that, it really doesn't matter where we physically have shown up to, because the familiarity comes from within. Our focus comes in to the breath, to our own personal well-being, and to our dedication and our commitment to this practice. And when you can bring your attention inward like that, it won't matter if there's noises around you in the house. It won't matter if you're in a spot that's not your usual spot. All those things become less and less important. And so as we've each settled in, wherever we are, we've turned our attention, at least directing it inward. Let's begin to breathe together, collectively. One slow, steady breath at a time. So just gently take a long, slow breath in and gently let it go. And again, a long, slow breath in and gently let it go. And again, and release. And continue a rhythm that is gentle to your physical self and gentle to however you have shown up emotionally in these moments that we're going to spend together. And as usual, I want to share with you some words that have given me pause, as well as comfort, as well as some reflection. And my hope is that as I share with you what's been going on in my study and what I have felt inspired to share, that maybe it will also help you to pause and to reflect and to just sit with whatever these words have for you in these moments that we have together. So first I want to give you just a little bit of background as we're each just kind of here in our own space, but we're also here collectively. We have this amazing yogi named BKS Iyengar. And the greatest way that I can describe him to those of us in this contemporary world that we live in is he created props. And there's so many things I could tell you about this man's life and all the contributions that he's made to not just asana, but to yoga in general. But I think that I identify with him so much because he created the concept of props, of using these things around us in our space, in our environment, to make our practice more accessible. And for some of us, it's an accessibility when maybe we have a limitation. For some of us, it's an accessibility to go deeper and to challenge ourselves. But just imagine this person, whether you know of him or not, but the person who created props for our yoga practice, and how much meaning and value those have for you, for people that you've stood and practiced alongside. And so there's a quote, there's many quotes, but there's a quote I want to share with you tonight. And it's giving me some comfort, but it's also giving me some things to think about with the path that I'm on right now. And he says, "The hardness of a diamond is part of its usefulness, but its true value is in the light that shines through it." The hardness of a diamond is part of its usefulness. And he could have stopped right there. And we could all agree. The diamond, the quality, the value that it brings, it has to do with the hardness of this incredible stone. But he goes on and he says, the hardness is not where the real value is. The real true value is in the light that shines through it. And so with that quote, he is really giving us a new way to look at the difficulties, at the hard times that we are each experiencing. For some of you, these hard times have been persisting for a while. Some of you, this is something new that's going on in your life and in your world. But what his quote is telling us is to be careful. Because hard times have a way of inevitably making us hard. We close off our heart a little bit. We close off our relational capacity with others. We close off our ability to see goodness and positivity around us, all because of whatever this circumstance is that we're going through. And there's a little bit of self-preservation in that. Just like with that diamond, the hardness does serve a purpose. But that's not our value. In the same way that it's not the diamond's value, the value comes by the light that can shine through it. And if you are in the middle of one of those hard moments, the thought of light seems really far away. But I want to share with you that it is possible to think about this image of a diamond. And when you hold it up to the light, it's like you can see right through it. Doesn't matter how dense or how hard or how magnificent and fancy that this stone is. When you hold it up to the light shines through. And the same thing happens for us. The light is there. We just forget about it sometimes because of whatever we're walking through. And so as I studied a little more about his intention with this quote, I wanted some steps. I wanted some ideas of how then do I find the value through the experience, through the hard time. And the first thing he says to us is, it all starts with becoming still. It all starts with becoming still. And I'm sure that many of you, if not all of you, are very much like me in the sense when hard times come, we just want to put our head down and just push through and survive it. But that wasn't the advice that he gave. He gave one step. He said, just be still. Just be still. Because if we put our head down and if we push through and we just try to survive it, the hardness will settle in around our heart. It will begin to distort our view of the world. It will skew how things look. But being still is where our grounding comes. It's where our security is felt. It's where peace is waiting for us. And we do that every time we show up for meditation. But the real question is, how do we maintain it once meditation is over? When that last namaste is said and that last head is bowed, and then we look up and there's life waiting for us. How do we maintain the stillness so that the value of the light can begin to shine through us, even in the midst of the hardness? And so I'd like us to practice that, because the only way we have a hope of being still in our spirit out there is by practicing being still in our spirit in here. And so I want to just pause, and I want us just to sit and just be. And notice where the physical parts of you get a little restless. And almost like you're saying to yourself, just be still. And then notice where your mind starts to kind of wander and go off and make lists and chatter. Almost like you're saying it audibly, just say to your mind, be still. And if your heart starts to beat a little stronger, a little faster, because of restlessness or agitation, in the same way, almost audibly say to your heart, just be still. And so let's each just try this where we are, as if we're in training for once we leave this space, because honestly, that's what our practice is for us. It's getting us ready for whatever we encounter once we rise up from this spot and we continue on about our way. So from the body to the mind to the heart, just keep reminding yourself, be still. And as you continue to breathe slowly and gently, just kind of check in with yourself and see where are the spots that still need the reminder to be still. I shared with you a little bit about who BKS Iyengar was before we started, because I wanted you to feel the trust of the wisdom and the insight that this man had. A man who could give us a prop to make a down dog a little more accessible, to make a triangle a little bit deeper. All those things that he gave us for our physical practice, I trust the wisdom and the insight, when at the same time he's telling me to be still. He's reminding me that there is hardness in a diamond and there's hardness in the situations of life. But that the value of what I'm going through is just like with that value of that diamond. It's when the light begins to shine through. It doesn't mean that we discount the things that we're experiencing. It doesn't mean that we're ignoring them. It just means that we work in our meditation practice, in our yoga practice, in wherever it is in life that you're cultivating this, we work to keep that light lit. We nurture it. We protect it. And so at the same time, when a hard and difficult situation in life is placed before us, how can we let all that work just be set aside and allow the light to be dimmed? I would rather trust in the words of this man who gave us props for our yoga practice when he tells us the true value in us, just like in that diamond, is in the light that shines through us. Sometimes the light may be really bright. Sometimes the light may be a little bit softer, a little bit dimmer, but it is still there. So as we prepare to leave this time, let's continue to cultivate that. So that when the last head is bowed and the last namaste is said, and we have to re-enter that path that we're on, the light will still shine through. And somewhere along the way, we will discover the value of whatever that hard situation is, even if we cannot see it right now. We breathe gently. We keep our focus internal on that light. And eventually, the hard times get a little less hard, and the light starts to shine a little bit brighter. Namaste.